Water, the real thing. One of the many things I love about unity is the fact that we are welcoming of other people and other ideas and their beliefs. Look, for example, next week we have Reverend Bonnie who will be speaking to us on the light of service from the Sikh perspective. And then the next week we have Helen Wright who, though more traditionally unity, will be bringing us aspects of metaphysics in her talk, which is going to be called The Light of the World. There's a theme. Can you hear a theme happening here? And then on the 22nd, we have Reverend Randy Granger, who is speaking to us on the solstice, and there'll be a candlelight ceremony involved with that. So it's all good, very much. I would like to let you know about this other thing, though. It's a little different. I know a guy, Ken knows him too. He was a celebrant of the holiday Festivus. Which actually have anyone heard of Festivus? Okay, so those of you who don't, it's an understandable reaction to the pressures and commercialism of the holidays. So do we have a, there you go. So in Festus world, you have a pole, and that's it's the Festus pole, and this is in reaction again to the pressures and commercialism of the holidays. And this actually came from the Seinfeld show, an episode from 1997. Thank you. I get the idea, the reaction to the pressures and commercialism, but I love trees too much. So it was a sad, I thought, of a Festivus pole, but that's the standard version. So instead, I would like to ask you to suspend your skepticism to see through the outward stuff. So how commercialism and artificially imposed pressures, like what is the perfect gift and is supposed to be, and the inwardly, measuring our insides to other people's outsides and society's outsides, so that for what a family is supposed to be, or according to some stranger or corporation trying to sell us stuff. I also ask you to suspend your skepticism and remember, my New Thought friends, who you are. Folks who are spiritually centered, positive finding, light radiating, highest and best attracting. Whew. And there's more, aren't we? Yes, you are. Let me just say that you are the perfect gift to your family, to your friends, and to this world. I have a slide here. Let's move from poles to trees, why don't we? There we go. From the 4th century, when the pagans began to celebrate with the bringing in the fir branches of the fir trees in order to bring color and light into their homes, to the 16th century when Martin Luther was in Germany, where he was learned or said to have put lit candles in a Christmas tree, which I suppose someone had to keep watch of that. And then to today. So personally, I love trees. Looking at a tree, it grounds me. The stillness and the regal nature of trees reminds me of who I am, whom I'm meant and aspire to be. Trees are a reminder of the continuity of time, from before us and after our physical expressions here. And when we add lights, especially white ones, well, it's very, very grand. Some might even say, woo-woo. Thank you. So like I said, last week we brought the happy, and we also talked about how holidays can be difficult, getting tripped up in the past and the shoulds, caught up in the spending, the eating, and the rushing, and also I asked that we balance this season, a season of long, dark nights with the coming light. We remember the care of self is so important this time of year because of the rushing and the eating and all these things. It's very important to take care of this ourself, that capital S self, the sacred self. Some you've heard, I'm sure, had it called the temple, but not just the temple of the body, but the temple of the inner self, the sacred self. Thank you. There we go. This month, again, it's all about bringing the light. Guess what? Bringing the light also brings the happy. So I'm not talking about the soap opera, The Guiding Light, okay? I am talking about guiding light, though. The divine light that guides us throughout life. The divine inner light that illuminates the spirit in us, in the heart of us, in the center of us. The Christ light, which Truth Unity describes as the true light, which guides each person. And Martha Spock writes, it is that light that shines through us to bless the world. Light is the spiritual and the divine, illumination and intelligence. It is the source of goodness and the ultimate reality, cosmic energy, creative force, and optimism, all related to light, according to Buddhism. Same here, I say, right? Now, I would like to present the light of the candles that the United Fellowship Chapel, where I was ordained, does on Christmas Eve. We'll be doing something different, but this is what we do, and they've been doing for 42 years. And the first of the candles is life, and it's green. The poet said, nearer is God than breathing, closer than hands and feet. Truth, golden. God is truth, that truth that sets us all free. Light, white. Arise and shine, for thy light is. God is light, and there is no darkness at all. If God is all there is, everywhere present, there can be no darkness in our lives. And love, pink. God is love. Beauty, lavender. Beauty and joy go hand in hand. It is impossible to have one without the other. The poet said, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. And power, light blue. God is power. There is no power apart from God. Peace, dark blue. God is peace. As we learn to experience the love of God, we let the light shine to let God live in us. We are at peace. God is peace, and that peace is our peace now. Peace, I am still. And from the Advent, and you'll hear more about the Advent from Helen Wright on the 15th, but just so you know, in case you don't already remember, it begins with faith, peace, love, and joy. And on Christmas Day, light. This Sunday is faith, represented by the pineal gland. And in this booklet, which please make sure you get a copy. We ordered these for everyone to get this season. And I'm just going to read from here, and it says, on this day of Advent, I practice seeing beyond circumstances and behold the Christ light in myself and everyone I know. I place my faith in the truth until it fills my consciousness and becomes my light. That I thought was so beautiful. I had to read it in case you didn't read it. And then we have the winter solstice, also represented by light, celebrated by ancient cultures around the world of the rebirth of the light, and often the birth of a god who would bring enlightenment. So this is not just Celtic. These are some examples also: Scandinavian, Egyptian, Persian, Japanese, Indian, and native and indigenous peoples from around the world. How do you like that? Again, we balance this season of long, dark nights with the coming light, and remember our care of self in our everyday conscious life. So as we're running around, wrapping presents, buying things, not going out, whatever it is we're doing, and as we move forward in life, we bring this light and allow it to manifest. And grace. There's this I'm going to quote from you because I just loved it. It comes from the Donning, and that's a D-O-N-N-I-N-G, International Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary, Grace, a level of consciousness in which all growth is effortless. An open, frank, joyful agreement between the soul mind and the conscious mind desiring growth, which makes existence easy. And the grace of God, a directive intelligence, motivating everything to move forward and upward. The potential within every seed that motivates that unit or entity to become a perfect unit or entity of its kind. Grace of God is motivation, and all humans are born with it. As students of metaphysics and New Thought, we may work on envisioning something that we want to happen. We intend, we pray, and we affirm. We visualize, and perhaps we use a vision board. We take the appropriate steps forward to ensure that our emotional compass is pointed true north. Remember that from our talks before. And what is true north? Well, that is our happiness and joy, right? We also follow our intuition. And we allow the manifestation of these things that we are looking to intend by getting out of God's way. And we allow for divine grace. Have you ever looked back at the things that have happened to you in life? Perhaps you have a pivotal event that took place, and you think about all the things that had to happen and come together to make that happen. On the surface, it might look like I met Ken because his company moved him from Southern California to Tucson. Or it might look like it was because I took the Tucson job instead of the DC job. But so many other things had to line up. And if I hadn't met Ken, I probably wouldn't have moved to New Mexico and Las Cruces. I wouldn't have been here to ask him in Easter of 2006, what church did he want to go to? And many more events had to occur and come together to bring me here today to you, and to bring you to me, and each of us to each other. Now, we've all read books or seen movies where, we've seen where two people come so close to crossing paths, and many times, actually, until they finally do. And these are depending on their intentions, decisions, and the roles of other people in their lives. I like to say, talk about your woo-woo. Yep, that's the one. Some call these happenings part of the miracles of life. So, can you imagine the extreme intricacies of the strategies of our pre-life planning committees? Woo-hoo! Think of the movie A Wonderful Life, where George Bailey had to look at all the people in his life that he had touched to see how much he really mattered, how important his being was in this world. We have but to look at the major events in history and how they came to be to see how all these things came to shape a thing, a time, a place. Now magnify any of those out of proportion, beyond superstar, beyond supermoon, beyond supernova, to the Christmas story. Okay, we have a new slide now, Mr. Slide Master. Thank you so much. And another. That's it, thank you. Now, we've all heard these stories that make up the Christmas story and their metaphysical meanings. The prophecy, Jesus and Mary, the angel Gabriel, the Egyptian connection, the Star of Bethlehem, the wise men, the shepherd, all leading up to the birth of Jesus. The birth of Jesus, divine manifestation of the divine light into this world and onto this physical plane. Divine light, Christ light, true light, which we heard earlier, guides each person, shines through us to bless the world. As divine establishment of a new and higher consciousness for humans on this earth. That would be us. And the light of the world. So Merry Christmas. Whether you agree when it happened or you believe how it happened, most of us here, New Thought students of the metaphysical, feel the truth of this light, this divine light of this season. You have but to look at all the holidays in the world that happened in December to acknowledge that this time is electrical and energized with grace and potential. That's the beginning right there. Just give you an idea. And you can find this on Wikipedia. And there's another one. Yep, there's more. This time is magical. This time is, you can feel it, can't you? This is the time. This is an opportunity to allow this light to shine through us, sparkly or otherwise. Thank you. I say the woo-woo of grace. Bring the happy. Allow the light to shine. Bring and share this light. I better stop waving this or he'll be moving slides around. Jesus told his disciples to become like children, which are open, curious, innately humble, vessels for wonder, delight, and joy. Good self-care enables us and assists us in this quest to become like children.
I see it, but I don't believe it.
You're missing the point.
What is the point?
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
She says, and you can go to the next slide, seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. So this year, and this is from the Elf Judy, in case you didn't know, the Elf Judy from the movie The Santa Claus, which is still available all these years later. So this year, I ask you to give yourself and those around you the gift of the Christ light in childlike wonder. This is the gift, all that excitement and being open and curious and not caught up in all that commercialism that Festivus is protesting against, but be caught up in it. Look at the lights, enjoy the sparkly. Delight over their sparkly lights. Allow the grace of the woo-woo to appear in your life. Believing is seeing. Bring the light. Hey, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? Bring the light. Thank you so much. Now, if you'd like to join me in a meditation, it's going to be about faith today, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to breathe up the spine, so that's like as you breathe, you're going to imagine how you're breathing that breath right up your spine, right on up into that pineal gland that matches faith, goes with faith, the first Advent candle of the season. So let's take in some deep breaths, bringing that up our spines, and as we allow this energy to swirl and move around us and within us, let's also take a walk down our path through some of those trees we saw. Enjoy those trees, smelling the pines without any allergic reactions. The firs, the spruce, the cedars. And let's find our bench. Let's find our bench and have a seat. And sitting straight up, we're breathing up our spine. Up our spine. Breathing up our spine and into the center of our being. Breathe up our spine, and now up into our heads, where a little small gland called the pineal gland rests, the window of all that we can be. And we now intend and see that vision of those things that we would like to see manifest in our lives and in the world. Improved health, improved circumstances, specific circumstances. And know that as you are here, focused right here, seeing out through this little gland, through the windows of your soul, and imagining and picturing, seeing through here that which you want to manifest. All the things that may have blocked your vision before fall away. In forgiveness and letting go of things that do not belong to us, we let them go and we see even more clear. And as we see and we intend and we visualize, we have the ignition of faith propelling us forward into this beautiful reality, so that we are bringing the future to our present and our present intention into the future. And we have the faith, the knowing that expands from this pineal gland, this blessed faith, divine order of faith, and moving throughout our entire being, sending along its way the faith of divine order in every other center of our being, and out into our world, the faith growing and knowing, this knowing God is conspiring for us. The energy and love of the Christ light ignites this faith and moves through every aspect of our life and our being. And as this faith grows, we also feel something else. It's gratitude growing and building within us. Walking hand in hand, this faith and gratitude, ensuring our manifestations, our healings, our desires, and our love that we are sharing and sending around the globe, from this room outward through this town, through this country, and around the globe, combining with all the energies also being sent around the globe and pulsing this Christ light, this divine light. We are so happy and joyful. We feel childlike. We expect in a childlike way. We are open, we are curious, and we are joyful. And this is what we are bringing back with us as we move forward in today and the week and the weeks ahead and into the years ahead. Now, as we sit on this bench, surrounded by these beautiful trees, we know and we believe through our faith, and we are grateful, so very grateful. And we can feel where we are now, where our hands and feet are. And now we're no longer on the bench, but in the sanctuary of the CSL among our friends. And all is well. And so it is. Amen. Thank you and welcome back.